granddaughter. The water can hear you. The water has memory.
Nibi,
Nibi,
Wabo,
Wabo,
Endayan,
Endayan.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Misli, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho.
Water is the life's blood of our mother, the earth. Water is the lifeblood of our own body.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Misli, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho.
To continue to pass on the knowledge that needs to be given unto the other generations. You are the keeper of the water.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Misli, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho.
To make the change in this life condition that we're in, that great-grandchildren will stand up to this truth of what life is about and to live it in such an honorable way, the way ancestors came to this earth.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Misli, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho.
Each day when the sun rises, no matter how bad the day before might have been, there's a new chance for your hopes and dreams. And I say, Chimigwech, thank you for singing the water song.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Misli, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho.
Welcome, everybody. We are here with the Golden Rule and the Environment Heal the Water Ceremony panel. Thank you for continuing watching our programming for Golden Rule Day. We hope that during this day, we're able to inspire you to think about the Golden Rule in a more daily basis. And I have here with me Kate Trnka, one of my good friends from the Charter for Compassion. She is one of the main volunteers in the environment sector. So, Kate, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Thanks, Felipe. Appreciate being here. As you just saw, there's a beautiful video of the Algonquin water song, and it is part of my ceremony that I do every year for Heal the Waters. It's a ceremony to honor the source that sustains each and every being on this planet. Healing ourselves, healing the world, and delving deeper is the theme for this year's Golden Rule Day. And I feel like this Heal the Water ceremony does just that. It helps us delve deeper into how important water is to life. And it definitely has the power to heal the water, which, of course, we're made up at arguably 70 to 80% water in our own bodies. And then, of course, we consume it, hopefully regularly. Most of us,
yeah, right.
most of us get to do that. Not everyone is as fortunate as some of us that live in the States. So, and that's part of the process of this healing the water. So many of our waters are polluted or contaminated, and this ceremony hopes to heal that.
Thank you so much. And yeah, what a beautiful way to start this panel, to see the beautiful I don't want to say culture, it's like the connection that indigenous communities have had with the environment and with the earth since the beginning. And I feel like in many ways, with colonization and all these different genocides with different indigenous peoples around the world, we've lost that. And so what a beautiful way to be able to honor that millennia of traditions that we probably don't know very much of, or no, not probably, we don't know very much of. And then also related to the Golden Rule, which the formulation that we use for everyone watching, for the formulation that we usually use for Golden Rule Day is $3 and the planet as you want to be treated. Making sure that we have a focus not only on this idea of the other as a person, but the other can also be the environment. It can be animals. It could be anything that you feel like you need to treat with respect and with care. So thanks for that, Kate. That was a great video. So could you tell us a little bit about the environment sector with the Charter for Compassion before we delve into the conversation about the ceremony?
Sure. And before I even do that, I would like to comment about your idea of, this video displaying, parts of an indigenous culture. I feel like when we're living right, our life should be ceremony. And that's one of the things I think the indigenous cultures just envelop within their lives. It's just everything is sacred, and therefore they walk in reverence. They do everything in reverence and respect, and take what they need, but they don't take out of greed. And the best thing that we can do is give thanks, and so and give our gratitude. So I just wanted to say that I look up to and admire the way that indigenous cultures live their lives, and I'm working real hard to be there, but I have a long way to go. About the environment, yes, I've been a part of the environment sector for a little over 5 years now, and we are really working hard to do things that are helpful to the earth and the environment. One of the projects that we have going right now is the Compassion Tree Project, which is not just about planting trees, which of course is part of it, but also restoration of devastated lands and soil, and then diversification, making sure that we're planting native species, not just random, whatever we think feels and looks good, although that's fine too. But and then also elimination of invasive species, so that those beings that are supposed to be there and thrive can do so without being encroached upon by some of these invasives that have been brought over from places that might have had something that would take over, and we don't have that capability in our environment to do that. So sometimes we do have to eliminate. So it's really about restoration of what would be considered the natural indigenous environment to the area. And then we just started a called the Artist Tree Project, which is a little offshoot of the Compassion Tree Project, and that is involving youth in creating art around trees, and not just youth, but we do have a youth project that just started in Cameroon, and they're creating art with the youth in the community, and that same community is working on a huge compassion tree project. They've started a couple of nurseries and are supplying seedlings to community members, and it's really, really cool to see.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So for people that don't know, the charter is split into 12 different sectors that cover most social justice issues that we can see in the world. One of them is the environment. You know, we have gender partnerships, we have interfaith work, we have arts, business, health. So if you would like to know more about the different projects with the environment sector, you're welcome to click on the link that we are putting now on the chat. So thank you for that clarification and for telling us a little bit about what you guys are doing with the environment sector. So why don't we go and talk a little bit about the Heal the Water ceremony and why is it that we wanted to share with people today during Golden Rule Day?
All right. Well, first of all, I was part of a women's circle since 2000, I believe. I started attending this women's circle. And I remember very clearly that in the year 2009, for whatever reason, we got together and everybody was concerned about the health of the water in their communities. There was like 10 or 12 of us there. And we started the conversation, and there's a woman that lived in Ohio, and she was concerned about Lake Erie, and I was concerned about the Fox River where I live. And then it wasn't, I don't know how long after Heal the World came out, and everybody was holding hands around the world. And I said, what if we did like a Heal the Waters instead of a Heal the World? What if we did a ceremony like that? Could you just picture that? Oh, everybody was all excited about that, right? And so we said, let's do it, And so it was already like fall or something like that. And like, when would be a good time? And so I went home and just kind of imagined it. And we picked May 1st as the day because of if you're on the water and there's an emergency, usually people say Mayday, Mayday. And in our mind, there was an emergency, not on the water necessarily, but within the water. And so that's how the day was chosen. And then I just picked 5:01 p.m. because it's the same as the date,
Oh, there it is.
It's kind of catchy. Like if you just said 5 o'clock, it's like, it sort of just goes radar. And so I don't know. It was the dumb little ploy or something.
Nothing dumb. Thank you for that. No, that's great. I was trying to figure out why is it 5:01? There's something else in here. Okay, great. It's the same date. That works great. Awesome.
And
so
it wasn't too long after I had seen the movie What the Bleep Do You Know? And there was a little segment in there about this gentleman called, his name is Dr. Masaru Emoto. And,
you raise your hand. There you go.
I know I wasn't even near my thing, which is really weird.
No worries.
And he had done an experiment with water, and he had taken some water from a polluted river or body of water somewhere, and he decided to see what effects our prayers, our words, our intentions have on water. And he recorded his observations. So I would like to show everyone this really cool video that I found on YouTube that explains it a whole lot better than I could probably explain it.
Perfect. Let's watch it right now.
Okay.
Next, we conducted another experiment, one that involved projecting our thoughts onto water and testing the effects of human thought forms and words. Through our website, we rounded up a group of volunteers to help us with this experiment. 4 groups of parents and their children participated. In this experiment, we used 2 glasses of tap water taken from Tokyo. We should note here that crystal formation has always eluded the waters of Tokyo. To 1 glass, all of the participants expressed gratitude, first out loud, then with their eyes closed. Next, they observed the water for any changes.
言葉、お水に対する思い、これをみんなで目をつぶって祈ってください。はい、じゃあ目をつぶってください。1分間です。
The researcher is now transferring this water onto petri dishes. The children look on curiously.
Three
3 hours later, the frozen water is ready for observation. We will start with the water that was left alone. Like so many times before, once again we observed a total lack of beautiful crystal formation in the tap water from Tokyo. Next, we will observe the water that was exposed to good thoughts. The children gaze into the monitor. What will happen to the tap water when their thoughts become one? Then, from within the darkness of the microscope, a small crystal appeared and slowly started to grow. A magnification increase revealed the sudden emergence of a single crystal, clear and simple, as if to epitomize the thoughts of the people who had gathered. And then, in response to the words and thoughts of the participants, the tap water from Tokyo produced a beautifully balanced crystal. Through crystallization, water is telling us that it can act as our mirror, that it can reflect human thought. Water has the ability to show us what we cannot see. The same water also flows through our bodies and nurtures all life on Earth.
Wow, that was a video. What an amazing thing to show and to prove.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and he's written several books, and in the books they'll show like all the different kinds of crystal formations after certain words have been said towards the water, or different kinds of music that the water was exposed to, and how different, and not only in shape but in color, these crystals form based on what they've been exposed to. And so our intentions and the energy that we put into, in this case, water, but in anything has an impact. And so that's how we started Heal the Waters. And I do want to say, another thing about 5:01 p.m. People say, well, is that Eastern time? Is that Pacific time? Is that whatever time?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I said, well, what if it's local time? And then we could create like a wave across the world about love and gratitude for the water. So it's a virtual wave.
Yeah. That sounds perfect. That's a great idea to kind of like we all have this share event at our different times, so the water keeps getting celebrated throughout the day. That's perfect. So another thing that like comes to my mind is the fact that by putting good thoughts and loving intentions to the water, these formations were created. Going back to what you said, that we are 75%, 80% water. If we put good thoughts into us, into our water, right? The water that is like being like in our bodies, would that affect how we see the world? Would that affect how our processes are happening in our body? Would it be healthier? Will we be happier? And I think that's a good thought to think about. Like this attitude of gratitude that changes moods, and the sacredness of water itself to the molecular level makes me feel so connected with everything around me, with the environment in general, like the air, the water, everything. If I'm putting good intentions on this, using the golden rule, I want to be treated with care, with love. I'm going to treat the water with care and love. I'm pretty blown away with this. What a great video. Thanks for sharing that, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the ceremony. What does this ceremony entail? Is it a public ceremony? Is it private? Is it does it have to be a large gathering or personal? Like, could you give us a little bit more details about this ceremony that we are all going to be doing on May 1st?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. It can be private. It can just be you in your backyard blessing the bird bath water. It could be something as simple as that. You can extend it to your family members if you want to. What I've chosen to do is it's very small right now, but hopefully it'll grow as well. A public ceremony. I live not too far from a river, and it's just down the hill from my house. And so I go down there every year since 2010, and I have a ceremony, and it's just it morphs every year. I usually put out water on the full moon prior to the ceremony. And so like this, I think it's this Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. I think Golden Rule Day is a full moon night.
Today, right?
Yeah. So today, it is today. Today, full moon. So I'll be putting water out, and then, and that just energetically feels good to me. And a lot of people would support that. And then I bring little glass jars that actually have the words love and thank you on them. And then sometimes we will play music. One of the songs that we'll play, and some people are brave enough to sing it, is the Algonquin earlier. And then I just kind of introduce them to the ceremony, and kind of like what I'm doing here is, tell them how it started and things like that. And then we pour the moon water into everyone's little jar things,
like vials or jars.
Yeah, I just picked them up at like the party store, and they're like little mason cups, but they're like probably
cute. That's cool.
Like that, and they're glass, so we can reuse them all the time and everything. So environmentally, it's all cool. And then we play this song in the back, and some people are singing it. But before we go, I said, hold the water in your hand, and envelop it with your intentions for the water, and not only maybe this water, but symbolically in waters across the world. And then we take a walk down. We're probably only maybe 20 yards from the water when this happens, and because there's a little table there that we can put everything on, and then we walk over to the water and we pour those intentions into the river, and that's our ceremony. But clearly, as I mentioned earlier, I see, hopefully someday a whole city of the whole city of Appleton, for example, holding hands and, and doing the song together, and maybe the whole world someday, right? As time goes on,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
everybody
absolutely.
catches the wave, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
now, so okay, you have the privilege of living close by a river, but what about people that live in an urban setting when there's no, free running water or in the desert? How can we do the ceremony with just like using tap water and having this moment? And then could you expand a little bit there?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you can do that because everything is about energy, and our intentions influence energy. So you could pour yourself a cup of tap water, bless it, and just with your prayer and intentions, hey, may all the waters of the earth be blessed by this ceremony, whatever. You could do it in your kitchen sink or whatever. But I would pour the water into the earth because it becomes then part of the water cycle, right? I mean, it will evaporate and then it will become part of the water cycle, whether that's rain or runs off into some little creek somewhere, or, desert's a little different, right? But
Yeah.
it still works. There's still a water cycle in the desert. It maybe is not as rich as it is in other, places that's arid, but
Correct.
absolutely.
Awesome. Great. So I wanted to share my screen so that we can share with people some of the resources that are available online. So let me just share screen, and we're right here. So this website is healthewaters.org, and it's coming up on the comments right now on our links. So you can come here to the website, and you have here different menu items. So first of all, like about, so you can learn a little bit more about how this began and the Heal the Waters ceremony. Then the ceremonies right here shows like different examples, or like, or is this like ceremonies that have already registered and shown like, hey, we're gonna have a ceremony here.
Exactly. And there's the little mason cups that I was telling you about.
Oh, there they are. Cute. Awesome. And so then there's a bunch of different places doing the ceremony. So is there a way to maybe contact these people, like if you are living in one of those cities and you want to participate in the ceremony, or
so a lot of them are private, but if they're public, then it does list exactly where that's going to be. So
okay, perfect.
And we would love to see this list get huge.
Yeah.
My first year, we only had 10, which was the 10 of us that were in the women's circle. And then the next year, I reached out really hard to other people, and we had 100 ceremonies in 10 countries. And then, lots of things happened and we're now, after COVID, resurrecting it again. So this is really a cool page too, because it talks about hosting a ceremony. And if you're going to host a ceremony, then there's some resources on the page there.
Yeah, there they are.
Of orders of ceremony and, program. And there's the Algonquin water songs there, so you can learn that. There's a flyer that you can put out if you wanted to advertise it, and you can kind of change it, to suit your needs for whatever your location is. And then there's a button there, and also another page up above where you can register your ceremony. And we encourage you to do that, because that's how I know you're having one. And then I can put it on the website on the ceremonies page. So
and thank you for saying that. Like one of the things that we're trying to do with the charter is to create ripples of compassion, not only in our communities, but virtually. We do have the reach, and hopefully try to reach more people. And so creating content that will be shared on our social media platforms is a great way to spread those ripples of compassion. And so if anybody is going to be hosting a ceremony, please sign up on this page. And then, hopefully you are able to share some videos or pictures so that we can, put more stuff out there in the virtual world so that more people can learn about this. So that is great. We have also contact right here. And so if you have any questions, you can send it there. And Kate, are you the one sort of like managing this website, or?
I am. So
Okay,
that'll be sent to my email and I can answer it whenever I receive it. So thank you. Thanks for
perfect. That's great. Yeah, no, and I mean, it really feels so golden rule in so many ways, right? So, so the other thing that I wanted to share, because there is also a Facebook group that I'm also going to add the link to the chat now, but share screen, back to this. So on Facebook, you can look up on the search bar right here, you can look up Heal the Waters, and you can stay connected through Facebook as well if you want to. So there's a couple little inspiring things. Yeah, I sing the water song, great.
Hey, there it
So
is.
yeah, perfect. So Kate, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us about this beautiful ceremony. How meaningful and powerful can this truly be? And showing us how the Golden Rule sort of like spirit lives within this, with indigenous traditions, with taking care of the environment, and within ourselves. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the people now watching before we go?
I really hope that you'll consider hosting a ceremony, and even if it's just something really small, like I said, in your backyard or in your home, you could honor your plants with the water, if you'd like, after you bless it with your words of intention, positive love and intention, and don't forget gratitude. Gratitude makes everything 1,000 times better. So. Thanks for this opportunity to talk about this on this special day, Golden Rule Day. I know. Thanks for having me, Felipe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And stay tuned. We have another panel coming up in a little bit less than an hour, and later with a movie screening. So keep checking us out right there. If you haven't registered, you can go to our website, charterforcompassion.org, click on Golden Rule Day program to register for the next couple events. But if that is it, you can also watch us on our social media platforms. So thanks again, Kate, and thank you everybody else. Happy Golden Rule Day, and we'll keep celebrating.